I'm extraordinary, yeah, so ordinary. I live my life to the fullest, why they wanna take it from me? I feel those dark and lonely nights.
Purchase your track today.
This is for my young people. Big Bill, Picasso. I used to sell crack in the trap. Now I make music at least 5,000 a track. Schedules collect dust in the show. I go in my cocoon and reinvent myself.
I used to watch your back to pull out the dagger. I move too fast, coming up the ladder. Greedy and need, but I'm destined to change it. I made it, now I'm blessed. The next generation.
I see blue angels flying in the sky, and I'm reaching high. We keep on winning. I'm living my expectations. This is my presentation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. I'm extraordinary, yeah, so ordinary. I live my life to the fullest. Why they wanna take it from me? I feel those dark and lonely nights. This is dedicated.
Finally, I can see, I can breathe, I believe. I was angry alone, unhappy and cold, dragging my soul, agony rolls.
My mind's ahead of y'all, I perceive a future and ask for this gift. I see all the spirits every time that I look in the sky. And holy intervention in front of my eyes, for
I
real.
would swallow my problems, roll in the haze, smoke them away. Hoping today would just go away. Holding my faith, no, I won't let go till you open the
This is for
gates.
the youngsters. In the beginning of the future, you ain't gotta be a thug of a hustler. I leave an invitation so you can enter with me into the generation. I see blue angels flying in the sky, and I'm reaching high. We keep on winning. I'm living my expectations. This is my presentation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. I'm extraordinary, yeah, so ordinary. I live my life to the fullest. Why they wanna take it from me? I feel those dark and lonely nights.
Purchase your track today.
Hello, test, 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 test. What's going on? What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? Beautiful world, beautiful souls. What's going on? Let us see if we are coming through. Tum, tum, tum. All right, yes, we are. What's going on? What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? Beautiful world, beautiful souls. Indeed, indeed. So, as we can see, things are coming through properly. So, good afternoon indeed to everyone. Wholeness, balance, and vibrations and harmony, and all that is great and balanced in the universe. Beautiful time indeed. We all were aware and expected all this, you see. So, but it's all, as we always speak on, it's all a matter of perspective, as always. Some may be seeing grief, death, and viruses, diseases, or whatever, and some may see doors of opportunity and love flourishing, blooming, sprouting, and stuff like that. So uh, we had, this message indeed. You see, as always, we speak on things that matter most. We seek to tame our tongue and not just speak for the sake of speaking. Instead, we speak what needs to be said or something like that. And this is what purpose is, and this is why we always ask you to trust the process. Because if we were paying attention, we spoke on things on the South, and then that is literally picking up, the baton from the elderlies, from the ancestors, the worthy ones indeed. So what it is, last one we had of guidance in the Americas was Noble Drew Ali. May he rest whole, and may he rest in power, might, and beauty. So he cared about, the people, the world. As you can see, he may have spoken on a specific type of people, his people, or something. But at the same time, many of any other tribe or nations benefited from him, and he never, closed his doors of love to anyone. That is to show you, indeed, even if certain leaders amongst us, you see, we focus on our own people, which is not wrong nor right. This is one of our teachings as well. But at the same time, you see, we cannot just limit it to that, because in reality, there is no such thing as different races or this and that, except those divisions are only to the surface, you see. The thing is, the will of it is to, just for the human being, for human period. There's like that's why I love the saying when people say there's only one race, and that's the human race. You see, it may be hard to fathom, it may be hard to believe, because why would, if it were, why would this race hurt the other, or whatever, blah 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 blah. But that's why we say to take it, for those who may not see why or something. We would beg them to take it in the homes or something like this, and realize up to today, which is what we are trying to heal from, though we have a few, low vibes, fighting it, which is all part of it, not wrong, not right. We understand it anyway, we welcome it. So what it is that you will see even in the homes, brothers fighting sisters, mothers fighting fathers, and what else? Uncles and aunts and grandmas and grandpas, or mothers against daughters, or sons against mothers or fathers, and you see, it's the same thing. If once you cannot understand why races think or are under the illusion of a difference or something like this, just see it from your own selves. You see, because all is self. You see, and then now that you see it, you will see how retarded that is from the home, and then after you will understand how retarded it is on the outside in the world. And then this is why, everything we do, because we were not lost following masses and stuff like this, and where they go, except that we keep our own eyes focused on ourselves, so that we may see things from our own perspective. And we thank the ancestors for having put us on that path to focus on self, even before I even knew who Prophet Nabuju Ali was or something. And when I came to him, to know of him, I jumped ship, because his message was something I was living from the get-go, which was self or something. If you ask me what to study, I would say study yourself. And if you ask me what to study again, I would say study yourself. And if you ask me again, I would say study yourself. Because the minute that you know yourself, you know all other things. You see what I mean? Because all is self. Yeah, because all is self. You see what I mean? So that's what it is. And that's why it's so important. And for those who did not lose themselves and focus on others, like judging others, like wasting time judging others as though they have a right or something to gain out of that. Though we understand there may be something to gain because let's say some people do make a living out of blaspheming, out of slandering, out of this, out of that, but that is to them their karma. Truly, that's why we tell people, we are the worst enemy against ourselves, as the Bible says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and we added, except your own selves. You see, because when you don't know when and what to focus on, then you waste the energy, and sometimes the worst that can happen is to benefit from the waste. You see, because sometimes if you're getting a little paper or something like this, you may think, okay, God is blessing me, maybe I'm doing the right thing. It doesn't matter if I break a family, if I destroy lives or whatever, but if I'm getting paper, it must be something good or something like that. But no one ever teach anyone since time begins or something that the worth of anything is it has to do with the paper. It's just an illusion arose from our own psyche or something like that, but it has nothing to do with reality. Because in reality, the worth is the being itself, which is what we come up to today, the time that we are living. What is your worth? What do you have to offer your world? You see what I mean? What is your perspective on the world? What you see? Where did you see that we went wrong? Or and from knowing where we went wrong, how can we make it right? All these type of questions, you see. That's why anyone with a little bit of brain left in their mind should know that that's since any nation who ever survived, it was on the back of the pioneers, you see, on those that think for themselves, you see. And this is why any nation as retarded as they may become, the best thing they do for themselves is to keep certain minds intact and untouched and natural, and clean and without programming, except self-programming or something like this, because there may be a time where the survival of such nation relies on that alone. You see, and it happens in Europe even at some point where even Germany was looking, you see, for the great minds and whatever, like Einsteins and the different great pioneers and great thinkers and stuff like this. And you see, because that's how it is. At some point, when something new has to be, you need the thinkers. You see, because all is mind. It all starts from the mind. You see. So it's something of common sense, but like our brother Sevan would say, common sense may not be common. You see, but the thing is like basically is just this is what we try to do, and most of the time we try to remind and connect, the message to the old messages, like what we've been talking about. There's always a reason. Like some people speak because they have mouth, but some people speak because they have something important to say. But we have to know ourselves to the point where we know what is what and who is who. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like basically it's just about we always said focus on self, this and that, but many were peeping toms or something like this, like focusing on others' life because for some reason their lives may have not been as interesting or whatever the issue may have been, or maybe that's how they make money or whatever. You see what I mean? To feed themselves and their children or whatever the situation may be. We're not here to judge. But at the same time, they may overlook the message of focusing on self, which is why today they may not matter. Because what it is, it doesn't matter how well you're doing for a time. If you did not prepare for the next time, then you are your worst enemy. You see what I'm saying? You cannot blame anyone. And that's why there's no such thing as being too comfortable and not taking heed. When you hear something new, when you hear a call, to your spirit, telling you to focus on yourself, it doesn't matter what it is that you're gaining or whatever, is to make sure that you pay heed and listen and, ponder and analyze and validate. You see what I'm saying? Or something like this for our own good, because time is ever changing. You see what I mean? So the thing is like, but anyone who ever follow us or listen to our shows and podcasts and teachings and lessons or lectures or whatever, I'm not sure. I'm sure the lovers themselves, they become believers not by the way I look or how I move or how I kiss or how I chew my food or whatever, but mainly because every time they may doubt or something like this, every time they may doubt, but in the end they realize that, the trust they held, held them back or something like that. Not held them backward, but held them also. You see. So what it is like, we what we set out to do as we started speaking. We find the time to speak, and this is, you see, we set out to, you know guide ourselves, leaving trails of crumbs and stuff like this on our path, so that others who are becoming loving, evolving, becoming themselves, centering themselves, may find solace or find, guidance through our words or something like this. Because the best you can do for yourself and others is live to the fullest and then help others to do the same. You see, not because you are in fear of a government, because you are in fear of any monkey whatsoever, but the thing is just that's just the way it is. You see what I mean? Because living in fear may not be the best thing. That's why we not to speak anymore about fear as negative, because if it exists, there's a reason for it. You see, because fear hold us back from destroying ourselves at times. You see what I mean? Because the human being can become so retarded that he becomes self-destructive. You see what I mean? So it is only fear sometimes that serve as a barrier or as a buffer zone, keeping us safe at times. You see what I mean? So there's a positive and negative to every word. You see, there's a negative fear and there's a positive fear. When we fear living our, not baby proof, like say for mothers and fathers out there, many of us are or will be, or something like that, you will find that a baby is coming to the home or something like this. So you baby proof the home, right? So that is out of fear of the baby getting hurt or hurting itself. Because remember, the baby comes, there's no such thing as fear yet. He has not learned fear. You see, he doesn't even know what that is. He would see the electric outlets there. He doesn't give a damn about that. The baby's gonna touch it. Doesn't mean if it's the last thing the baby touches. She or he does not give a damn. If you have stairs in your home and then you do not baby proof the stairs, barricade it or something like this, you will find the baby literally crawling and then just jump ship. And if you see what I mean, the baby will literally go down the stairs and kill itself. It doesn't think about it because its job is to become. It remembers, it knows that it is here to experience. And what is life except that you experience life? You see, there's no life unless you experience it. You see what I'm saying? So baby is not gonna care about that because he knows that death is only, a point in life. Because like Muji best said, it's you see, life cannot die, just like death cannot live. You see what I mean? So if you are alive, the minute that you are alive, then you are alive, and therefore you can never die. Which is why we always call the people to remember, uh, even in the scriptures, something like this. You see, like dealing with certain things, because we know our words may not seem popular at times, except to the great minds themselves or those who think or something like that. It's not right or wrong because not all of us are here to do greater things. All things are great, but they are greater than other things, you see. So how do you know greater than? It's because how many it takes to do such work. If it takes millions, then it's fractalized or something like that, meaning every one that be a part of that fraction or something only hold a small percentage of that whole. But some, as great as it is, cannot be dispersed, cannot be fractalized. You see, it's whatever, you see, because we have to learn from nature and how things work or something. Simply mathematics. You see what I mean? So what it is, you will find some, you see, would say or something like this. I take a little parenthesis and then I miss the thought, but it will come back always as it always does. So that's what it is, guys. Where were we? Yes, we were speaking on life and death. So the baby and all of that, you see, it does not care or something, and life doesn't die and death doesn't live and stuff, or something like that. You see what I mean? So the thing is like, and then we jump to make a parenthesis of how you see certain things are greater than other things and whatever. And it's not that is good or bad or better than or whatever. It's not in that sense, except it's just mathematics. You don't judge numbers. You just apply the numbers. It's retarded to judge the numbers. So why does 2 equals plus 1 equals 3? That's retarded. Waste of time. You see, when you judge life in that way, then you're stupid. You see, that's a waste of time. You see, you just accept it for what it is because whatever you are or you do is what you chose to do. Nobody gave you that. You see, so why judge self? Instead, except accept self and then be the best version of yourself. And then, of course, you shall be remembered as such. You see, but if you only wasting time judging what you do, who you are, whatever, then that's what you get. You judgment and die with your judgment or something, or go away with your judgment or whatever happens to you or something like that. You see what I mean? So the thing is like now it is time for the mature ones to speak and to be or something like this. But of course, there's no being without interacting, right? So we depend on one another. That's why I had to learn the hard way that it's not about fuck the world or it's about me. That's a thing that I always fight in my own self. Every time I come to the point to say fuck the world, excuse my French, you see, and it's all about me, I try to change that literature, you see, within myself because I cannot help but seeing the delusion in that statement. So what it is, all is self, and we are the world, as Michael Jackson the Great would say. So what it is like what we had to realize is how do we live as though we are the world. But the world that you see that you are may not don't even trust your word or don't want to work with you. They always see things outside of themselves as an enemy or whatever, blah blah blah. So how do you take as friend something that takes you as otherwise? So that's the thing. It's within self also. There's that same fight. The heart or the brain may take the heart as an enemy. Or the mind may take the heart mind as an enemy, and the feminine may be an enemy to the masculine within self and stuff like this. So until we bring, you know, those two hemispheres together in harmony, of course we're gonna see it on the outside because, as the ancestors, the great ones say, as it is within, so it is without. So, and this is why we started to harmonize ourselves. You see what I mean? Like making sure we trust, and the more we trusted, the more fearful we become because at the time you don't you the mind does not even understand nor even trust what the heart says. It's like what the hell, always judging it, questioning it, and stuff like this. But since we set out to bring the harmony, then we speak and be the intermediary between them. You see what I mean? So that we may simply guide both into one path or something like that. You see what I mean? And then as we recognize the trial within or the whatever, you see what I mean? Then it becomes easier and easier, and to the point where the mind trusts the heart and the heart guide the mind. You see, so that's what it is. So it's something that we all have to do within ourselves. That's why even in that movie with Jim Carrey, the great Me, Myself, and I, or something like this, or you see, those statements may not make sense to the mind at time, but the heart understands. You see, me, myself, and I. Within self, there is different selves. There are different selves. You see what I mean? So we are saying all that to bring, to connect whatever we say before to what we are to say today. So, what do we need to say today? As you can see, the title is "It is time to learn from the ants." So, why do we say we need to learn from the ants? It's because there's a way that the ants behave that keep them safe even after a catastrophe. And then, since we are being inundated by the flowing waters of the cosmos, or something like the waters above, the waters below, all interconnecting and flooding and washing away old to bring about a new or something like this, whatever is going on. You see what I mean? So, who does survive such catastrophe or such birthing the best, except among us, we know, for those who ever study nature or something like this, the ants. So that's why I find it very necessary for us to share this understanding with our peers and the lovers mainly, and why it is for all, but of course not all may comprehend and not all may trust, except those who already trust themselves. So what it is that the ants basically they will always survive catastrophes. They always survive this. They always survive that. And then once we understand why they do survive these things, it's because of what brings us to this topic today. Recently, we have been made aware that we're still posing a threat to ourselves. But of course, we expect that because the pioneering of a new world, or the creation of a new world, or surviving a new an old into a new, or whatever, it is a matter for all. But so long as one is doing it well, of course, may be a guide for others. But if it is only one that is doing it properly or something like this, then of course the many is gonna need that one to continue to guide them as it is guiding itself, which is why things get a little harder, you see, and then that's why it requires trust in each other and this and that, whatever, because things you will never life doesn't work that way that it gives you what you expect all the time. It doesn't work that way. It's you that have to know what it is that you have to do. That's why most of the time, whenever a new chapter opens or a new page turn or something like this, we face with judgment, which is not wrong, not right, or whatever. It is what it is. But we just gotta understand that, you see, it's the more we question and the more we don't know what to trust and what to listen to or what we're doing or whatever, the more we waste time. You see, that's why it is important that we grasp where we are, who we are, and what we need to be doing, or something like that. You see what I mean? So the thing is like basically it's just it came to my attention that many of us are seeking, are feeling like, you see, there's some type of good that happened or that is happening or whatever. So with that good, we take it upon ourselves to ask for credit. We see many people are saying, "Oh, this, oh, that's my truth, that's this truth, that truth." Truth belongs to all. Not even belong. We are truth. We are made of truth. We stand on truth. We are the truth. You see what I mean? So it's not a matter of belonging. We have to leave that mindset, like corporate mindset, behind with owning even the truth or something like that. That's kind of retarded thinking from where we are. So the thing is like basically it's not, we come to kind of help you squash that fight within yourselves and outside of yourselves, you see. Um, because most of the time when we fight each other seeking gratitude, gratification, or seeking credibilities, or whatever the ego may deem necessary for the time, it's only posing a threat to our evolution and to our moving forward or something like that. You see, that's what we say. No weapon formed against you shall prosper except your own selves. So the thing is like basically at this time, for the ants to be surviving the flood or the tsunami or whatever, do you really believe that it's in arguing or arguments with each other? Like, okay, who takes the lead? Who does this? Who gets credit for doing that or whatever? You think they are taking time to think about these things? Or all of them know themselves and they know that stand in position. You see what I mean? Everyone takes position and then when you create that web of, or that strong web, you see what I mean? That will allow us to float over the waters instead of being submerged by the water. You see what I mean? That's why it's retarded, it's stupid, but it is what it is. You see what I mean? So we need to make sure that we're not doing this to ourselves, and this is what we are helping to see today. Why we should. So because why shouldn't we worry about who gets credit or who this or that or whatever? The confusion is in our mind because we are so far behind in our consciousness and time, stuff like this. It's because you see, just like you hear, let me take it to a degree that you may understand for those who are fighting among themselves. The thing is like basically when in the corporate world, which you understand so well, or you are coming to an understanding of. So what it is that when you want to know something or who benefits from something in the corporate world, what do you say? You say follow the money. You see what I mean? Because money is the god in the corporate world, right? The highest. You see, that's what everybody would kill for, would live for, would die for, or whatever, the god. So you just say follow God, follow the money of such world, right? So in spirit, or in being, what is the money? It is the energy itself. So the ancestors, the great, the world builders, the world destroyers, the world sustainers, or something like this. Do you really think they just wondering who gets credit of what or whatever it is? One thing they know it takes the being to make a change for change to be, of course. They know that we are the one in control of ourselves, we are the one who lead us aright or astray, we are the one who destroys ourselves, you see, or save ourselves, you see. At the same times, they're not listening to word finding, trying to find out who gets credit for what. The universe is not doing this. The ancestors, the great ones, are not doing that because just like you, they follow the money. But what is the money? The money is a specific energy signature. You see, whatever whoever initiated the proper action, the proper word or whatever, there's a specific signature that follows that word. It echoes in the fabric of space. There's no searching, looking, or whatever it is. There's no confusion with that comfort. So the thing is like they will just simply follow the signature or that specific geometry or something to its source. And then boom, they know. So anyone who's wasting time seeking gratification, how about you take that time and meditate and do the right thing, help your fellow human being that are dying out there or something like this. Do something good for yourself and then leave a mark in your own geometry. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like it's otherwise it's basically a waste. You see, because there's no such thing like people think it's about. Oh, the same way you confuse and you are looking for this because you confuse, you think you can play games or whatever. You see what I mean? There's no such thing. You see, there's a point in being that such thing is literally foolish, it's literally retarded, it's stupid, it's dumbfounded, it's everything that is of a low nature, like worse than a worm, to tell you the truth. You see what I mean? That's not even a brain thinking, to tell you the truth. If you only knew. So the ancestors basically they not really worried about certain things. Of course, certain ancestors may be. We don't know because as you are in living, so that signature that you are, it will continue to be, and until you bring yourself to a higher level of being or something like this, whether here or there. You see what I mean? So, but there are some ancestors that most of us may call ascended masters and this and that. These terms of these hierarchies exist for a specific reason. It's because their signatures or their geometries are not the same. Their strength and their weaknesses or whatever, they're not the same. You see what I mean? So they are not confused in who and what needs to be done or something like that. And then that's why also whatever you see happening, it was bound to happen. You see what I mean? And most likely, if you are living, you will see there's a reason for it to be happening. Because it's not about when you go in the heart center, it's not about leaving the mind out of it or something like this. It's just like, of course, yes, there's a reason for the processing, you see, of the understanding or whatever. So the thing is, like, you will hear many people once they come into the heart, if they are not mature in there, the first thing they want to do is to love naively, or thinking love is about whatever they think of it or something like that. But it's deeper than you can even understand. You see, because if you think something as love takes the highest frequency or the strongest hearts and whatever this and that, you see what I mean, strongest beings and spirits or whatever, what makes you think it's something that the lame mind can just grasp so easily? You see what I mean? So the best you can do is to be it, so that become it, so that you may understand it. See, that's the only way to it. But of course, if we don't do the proper work and we think it's about playing dice or playing, how you call it, the best game in the corporate is chess or whatever with it, thinking you're making moves, chess moves, and this and that or whatever we think or something, then we literally, not moving on whatsoever. You see, still the same old mindset. You see, so the thing is like it's definitely not about like who gets this, who gets that, who gets whatever. So whoever to get already has gotten. You see, I mean that's why there's no such thing as worrying about anything except yourself. Just be. That's why you're here. It's not to look for credibility or look to fade in to belong or whatever. You look to belong, you look to fit in, you see, because that's part of being a human being. It's not about, oh, okay, I'm different or this and that just to make ego feel good or whatever, as we always do. You see, oh, look, everybody's doing this, but look what I'm doing. No, there's a way to do that, of course. But and when you say it's not really about seeking to prove that you're different or whatever it is, because in reality we are all different. That's why I don't know how much you know yourself, because imagine when you see police or whatever take your fingerprint, the only reason they even make the fingerprint a factor is because of the differences in each being. You see what I mean? If they expected the fingerprints to be the same, of course that wouldn't even matter anymore. So there is a specific signature to every being. You see what I mean? So is there a need to prove that you're different? No, when everyone should know that everyone is different. You see what I mean? That's something basic, you see? But when we don't know ourselves, we keep acting and look stupid and foolish in doing so. You see what I mean? And also being stupid when someone who has the need to say that they are something like this, and then to take it from your own perspective on the lower perspective self or something like this, then it also makes you look stupid, because it is not what's being said, it is why it is being said. You see what I'm saying? That makes it stand or fall or something like that. But the thing is, like, it's just we make you think that, I mean, we want to make help you think in a way that can help us move forward, because of course the energies and the universe itself is conspiring to bring us to our best experiences and stuff like this of each other. So, but if we are like in our delusion or something like this, then of course we're not gonna see the fruits of such labor or something like that, because we're already posing a threat to ourselves. You see what I mean? Continuous. So the thing is like basically it's just like I said, to take the ants or something as your master for the moment, and whoever doesn't like having a master, we urge you to just tame that ego for a second and then just accept the ants as the master for the moment, because nothing is best for the moment, you see. So what it is like uh, it's just the ants, like I said, if there's a flood or something, they're not really gonna fight of who is master, who know better, who know more knowledge, or who this, who that. They just take position without arguments, without fighting each other or something like this, or so, one another, and then they just clap together and whatever, and then boom, they create that strong bond that can take them across the waters safely or something like that. So now is really not the time to be looking to please the ego or seek some form of uh, title or whatever. You see, I mean, I'm the one, or I'm the leader, or I'm this, I'm that, or whatever it is. But when you say these things, let it be no further than your own nose or something, you see? Because when I myself, when I say king, I'm not saying king over anyone, because everyone wears a crown. You see what I mean? When you say king, as it is within, so it is without, since everyone wears a crown, therefore everyone is a king within their own kingdom, which is their own vessel, their own bodies. So the best one will be the best king within itself, may be the best version of the king outside of itself, if there is a king or whatever to be, that same hierarchy has, if he comes to have to be projecting on the outside or something like that. But if you find people fighting for the crown or whatever, it's showing that they don't know who they are. So if they don't know who they are, let them. It's not for you who know yourself. It's not for you to get in the fight seeking for the crown. You wear it on yourself. So that's why when I know everyone wanna be this, wanna be that. So what do you see? Everyone seek to be king for themselves. You see, that's why you remind yourself, okay, I am the one in control of me, of myself, and no one else, and anyone that may gain certain powers over is only to the degree that I've given or whatever, and this is everyone else's right or something like that, you see. But of course, if we are not in control of ourselves, nature would be best to provide one for ourselves, you see what I mean. So that's why we say governments without or around the world, this is the best we can afford for the time, you see. Respect it, deal with it. And then if you seek to change, do not try to change the outside, only change within. Because whatever you see without is only a projection of what exists within, or something like that. That's why the best one will guide us ever. They will always tell us, if you seek to change the world. Or sometimes they would say, when you were clever, you set out to, or you wanted to change the world. But when you become wise, you want to change yourself. And this is something that I can vouch for on my own journey, because I always thought, everyone has a purpose in the world. See, though it is, you see, and then I wanted to change the world, or something like that. But as I become more wiser and wiser and wiser and more in understanding of who I am, and what the world is, and what is my place in life or whatever, the more I'm understanding, I see I am the problem in the world. You see, I didn't see that I'm the solution. I saw that I am the problem. You see, so that's what it is. So the minute that I start fixing my own self, then of course it's gonna project on the outside. And that's not the when I say I am, the I is something that we all have. So of course, if I am, therefore you are too. So the only difference between us is that I accept it, but you still fighting it, because you see only the good but not the bad, if anything. You see? So the thing is like, but since it's not good or bad, the bad is there to show you to get the good, or the good is there to whatever. You see, it's a balance within. We don't want to go back and forth with these things because we spoke on them too much already, and we do not like to be repetitive too much or something like that. So, you see, the thing is just believe me, if you done anything for humanity or for yourself even, or in your even in your family line or something, it does not matter if they believe you or they see your worth or whatever, because trust me, you do not need them to give you anything. It doesn't matter if you are from a rich family or not, there's nothing they can give you that the universe itself cannot, you know, I don't know if you understand, but there's nothing, you can get that maybe greater from what can come from your own self or something like that. You see what I mean? So that's why it is not about proving. Yes, we understand, when we are low in thinking and stuff like this, we are egoistically driven or whatever, and we completely overlook our spiritual everlasting selves and stuff like this. And what it is, we tend to look for little rocks on the way and carry in our pockets or whatever. You see what I mean? But at the same time, becoming too heavy to even move forward, and therefore, thereby missing the mark or something. So what it is that we have to be mindful of what we do, and not to worry about credit or whatever it is, or who done this or who done that, or whatever. It's really none of our concerns. The best we gotta do is just keep on moving. You see, keep on doing what may be working for us. You see, becoming ourselves, becoming more loving, more compassionate, more understanding, and stuff like this. And then if there's any judgment, the same teaching, the same thing we've been teaching the whole time. You see, that's the only thing. That's why really you see us, since we already said everything that needed to be said, really, in reality. So that all we do is just continuing by seeing where the mind is. Because for every word or for every teaching, there's gonna come, like the ego trying to get something out of it, to make something out of it, or whatever. So this is why we cannot leave it for anyone except to ourselves to maintain or sustain every word and stuff like this, and all the ills and the stupidity that may come with that or something. You see, because for everything good, there is a balance of the same. You see what I mean? It's all not. It's the potential is zero. You see, it's the point zero. It is you and I, and what we make of it. You see, the time may be great in our favor or whatever, but if we do not see it as such, or don't know how to deal with it as such, then we will make of it whatever we are for the time being. And stupid is not what we need to be at the moment. We need to be wise, we need to be understanding, we need to be compassionate, we need to judge none but ourselves. And the only time we judge others is when it is in relation to ourselves or something like that, you see. But the focus must remain on self, you see, because that's the only thing that matters. And if you cannot see it from a spiritual perspective, so we can still take it from a corporate perspective, which is even the YouTube, the this, the that, the Facebook. People, many of us now are looking for self. We are looking to evolve, to become better human beings or something, or should I say, just to become human beings, because we have not been thus far. You see, because what it is to be a human being is it is the word, it is the God becoming man. That's the human being. You see what I mean? Whatever else is something else. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, like, basically we are becoming human being or something like that. So we should just worry about being that. You see, just wanting to be that more and more, because there's so much beauty in being that. You see, being, children of God, experiencing themselves or something, or, what I mean, or in the university of the cosmos. So what it is just we have to just stay focused on self and stuff like this, because like we say, many people are looking, becoming themselves and knowing themselves and stuff like this. So our job is to, if we have anything to offer, meaning we have gone the process, and thereby putting ourselves ahead of the curve or something like this. So of course, our job is to show them the way, not the way by what we read, but the way by what we've overcome or something like this, because it's more potent, it's more powerful when it's something that you know. You see, because we say no because that is true knowing. You see, it's experience. It's not really reading over someone else's experience, but your own. You see, that's what makes it so potent, because you know every third. You see, that's why all the time we say, you see, there's a difference or big difference between knowing the path and walking the path. When you know the path, meaning you read about it or something like this, you know, just like some people would say the map. Like, looking at the map is different from, walking or, you know, traveling the map or something like that. And it's so true. You see, it doesn't matter. We may want to okay, we feel out of time and we want to cheat, we want to do this, and we know that all roads lead to Rome and Rome is the center south or something like this. So we cheat, we do those things. You see what I mean? We cheat ourselves thinking we're doing something. But in reality, in the end, if you did not walk it as to learn it the way it was intended to be, then you leave yourself with a bunch of questions to be answered, and thereby leaving yourself at the mercy of whoever have walked it. You see what I mean? And who's to know how you're gonna know who has or who has not? Obviously, you see even today, many are confused because they don't know who to listen to. Specifically when they just look on the surface to see, okay, this master, where does this master live? When I'm watching this master, what kind of house he lives in and what kind of cars he's driving, because that's how God bless people. That's how you know who's guided, by the cars they drive, by this, by that, like all the retarded thinkings and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? So it is so stupid, you see, but that's how it is. And this is why you see, you know, our job, once you understand, is not to seek to be seen as the monkeys want to see you, but it's to just be what you need to be in order to keep the path the way it is. There's nothing to be changed. If it is the way it is, it was for a purpose, so leave it as such. That's why it's not for all, except those who are able. You see what I'm saying? The thing is, like, if you're looking for self gratification all the time and some praise from the lower minds and monkeys and stuff like that, then you are not to be walking such path, because it's most of the time you're gonna have to let go of this type of delusions. You see, and stay bare, and because it's not looking to add something to you to make you look good. It is looking to, to transform you from your center to become the best version of yourself, with or without anything added. You see what I'm saying? So that's what the true thing is. You see, it's really not about, okay, where, what. You see, it's not about that. Like most of the time we say your work. Where's your work? Where's this? Where's that? It's beyond work, physical work. You see, but we understand it's a corporate thinking, whatever. But of course, to some degree, when you're dealing with corporate, if someone is talking about money, how to make money, how to turn a dollar to $10 and stuff like this, yes, you see, you have to, okay, prove it. Show me what you got. Show me the money, whatever. That makes perfect sense. But when it comes to being is the money creator, not the chaser. You see what I'm saying? It's a different thing. You cannot take the mindset of the chaser and make it the mindset of the maker. You see, they're not the same, because the maker does not look to seek validation in its creation. Specifically, most of the time we see, even in movies and in real life, many people create things and then they don't feel proud of the things more than other people may feel proud of their achievements. You see, like there's this movie where I think it depicts like it's something. It's mostly about the social media or something like this, creators, or I forgot the name of this movie, where the one of the workers, held another worker captive in a car, and then seeking to speak to the CEO or the creator of the company, of the social media. It's like, like Facebook creator, someone who works for Facebook, a regular worker when they held another worker of Facebook headquarters captive, wanting to speak to Zuckerberg because his wife died because of that creation of social media, but the creator himself, in this case, I would say Zuckerberg or something like this, is in the mountain somewhere, hidden away from its creation because he's not proud of it. He didn't expect it to be what it became or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Because most of the time, to create, we all are creators, but to be proud of that creation is maybe some much different. You see what I mean? Because it can become something we did not expect. You see, that's why it's not really about creating. It is really about what are you creating. You see, what do you understand of yourself? You see, but whatever is created has a purpose for it. We're not saying wrong, right, or whatever. You see, because it is obvious there's purpose for this thing. But I'm just taking as example to make that point. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like it's just to show you the difference between the maker and the chaser. So the chaser, as a chaser or for a chaser, certain things may make sense, but as the maker, the rules change. You see, they don't vibrate the same. They're not the same. You see, so that's the thing. You see, the user of Facebook, like myself, I'm very proud of YouTube, Facebook, and all these things. I'm very proud of them. I use them. I'm happy for them. You see, they allow me a voice and whatever it is. But I may be prouder than the one who created it, really. Though they may have gotten something like billions of dollars and status and whatever. But to them, that's why they never cease to create because they're not satisfied. Because as makers or creators, you can help but you don't really like worship it because you're already moving forward or next project or whatever. You see what I'm saying? For sake of game or for whatever reason, but you never really feel as proud of yourself as the chasers or the users do. For those who may have never created anything. So the thing is like that's what it is, you see. But when I speak mostly, for those who may not understand, I'm not speaking from the chasers or something like this, but from the creator's perspective. You see, most of the time, you see what I mean. So that's why I may not make sense to the chasers or whatever it is, but that's why we don't seek to feel bad or from what they may say or the or whatever because we have to understand where they're coming from. That's humanity. That's being humane. You see what I'm saying? So, and this is what we are calling for. That's to be human is to be understanding. You see, understanding where people come from, like connect whatever level to your own self because it exists within yourself. You know what I'm saying? And when you see it from yourself, then you will be able to, you see, deal with it accordingly with due respect and compassion and stuff like that. So the thing is, it's not we're not speaking on religious terms or whatever. Though religion may have to do with things because religion holds a lot of wisdom and this and that. And if it was not for religion, I don't know what we would have been today. But of course, some people may differ, and we welcome those differences because they are not wrong. Like we said, if there's a good and a bad to everything, that's why it's not about good or bad. If there's always gonna be a good or bad to everything. You see what I mean? That's why we have the teaching in the beginning of our lessons had to be about understanding good or bad, not from a good or bad perspective. You see, it was very important. But we are very happy that you see the lovers and those who are on the same frequency understood and they got it. Then we are all on the same page and stuff like this, and there's nothing more beautiful, you see. When we understand each other, then we are moving as one. Because we have to see the power in this type of understanding or in upgrading our mindset or something like this. Not having the same old one, coming into the new, expecting different results like the insane monkeys that we may be at times. So understand where the being was coming from. You see what I mean? That's what matters most. Because it's true that sometimes it's not. That's why we say and we teach that it's not about The action is the intention. You see, why are you being selfish? If your intention is to be able to be full enough, like Oprah would say, become so full that your blessings are overflowing to the point where people around you are just picking up on your blessings, and it's not even taking anything away from you. Those are the same statement in different terms. You see what I mean? So I learned from these things, you see, and I understood. And I see that, all helps gotta come from self. He has to start with self, and you see what I mean, and stuff like that. And more, I learn. You see, so that's what we're supposed to do: live, learn, you know, live, laugh, love, and learn. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. That's why I even added to that, live, laugh, love, laugh. When I heard that, and I say, okay, something is missing, and I added it, learn, because that's all I've been doing. Of course, I live as I'm becoming loving and whatever, and I always laugh and stuff like this, whether I'm happy or not. You see what I mean? But the thing is, like, what am I doing? Doing all of it is learning. You see, because that's the purpose of living in the first place. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, you see, don't waste time. You see, seeking validation, because the one that focus on getting validated is the least one to get validated. To tell you the truth, that's why anyone really, who knows the Islamic literatures, especially the Sirat of Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would say that, you see, the one who wants to be, the leader, who choose, or who's lifting fingers to be, is the least one to be. And the ones that are capable are the ones that are running from the responsibility. Why? Because they're not seeing it from a self gratification point of view, they're seeing it from the responsibility, that it entails, or something like that. Because every single being or soul that follow you become your responsibility. You see, that's a lot to take in. You see, but the one who just seeing the title is not even looking at the responsibility. You see what I'm saying? That's why they want it. Trust me, no man wants to be responsible, not even for themselves in reality, it's, let alone others. You see, that's why you may find many fathers, mothers, they may have the children, but they give them up. You see, why? Because they don't want the responsibility. They want the fun of having a woman, or a woman having a man, whatever, but not the responsibility. We know who we are. We know ourselves. We know we don't want responsibility. Who would want responsibility when there's so much in life to enjoy? And you see, that's why I told everyone last time to be easy on the leader, because it's not easy to lead. You see, if you have ever led something. You see, because as we are having fun, chilling, enjoying ourselves, they themselves, we the one that are seeing the private jets, the this, the that, like the same thing we were saying earlier about the social media thing. We're seeing it as success and this and that, but they themselves are seeing the responsibility to the point where they have to drug themselves to like, numb themselves for the next day. And we may enjoy ourselves, going to the strip clubs, doing this, doing that, going to the bars and looking for some tail for the night or whatever we do. But them, they don't live that simple and that easily. You see, for every up there's a down, for every down there's a up. If you are down, look to the, whatever. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. You see, that's the only way forward. It's not about blame. It's not about a this. It's not about who's to punish or whatever. Though all of these things, may be part of it. But trust me, sometimes the action itself is sufficient as a punishment. When we do something, living with that action is a punishment in itself, if we only knew. That's why we can never really run from ourselves. You see, that's what makes it worse. You see, you may run from someone who wants to punish you, and they may never find you. But from yourself, if yourself seek to punish you, then imagine, can you ever run? No. Every breath you take, you're gonna live with that. You see what I'm saying? That's why sometimes we say to ourselves, how do you live with yourself? Because it's unfathomable. You see, you can't even comprehend. There's something like that. You see what I'm saying? So, but once we understand, and there's reason we say these things. Some people would think, okay, it's weakness, seeing it from themselves and stuff like this. They will say, oh, it's a weakness or fear or whatever. But there's a good in the fear. You see, there's a good fear, there's a bad fear. You see, a negative fear, a positive fear, or whatever. So fear is itself is not a bad thing. There's a need for it at times. You see what I mean? So does it guide you? Do you make decision based on that fear or whatever? You know, what's the intention behind having or holding that fear, or does it drive you? You see that all these questions come into place. You see what I mean? So the thing is like it's not about or fear or feeling or something or whatever, but it's just what needs to be done. Where could the focus be for us to get the best of the time or something. That's what it's about. You see what I mean? Because most of the time there will always be the obvious solution, so the obvious next action. You see, which is, well, let's look for whoever did this to us and let's punish, whatever. That's the obvious. You see, we really don't need to think because those thoughts were already in the mind. That's what any animal would do. You see, you corner an animal, it lunge at you or something like this. That's no thought about it. You see, I mean, it's just what's gonna happen. But being the highest animal in the kingdom, or something like this, so that we say, of course, we have to think better, do better. It's not, we don't always go with the obvious. You see, that's what it is. You see, we have to think first. Think about it. You see, let's see what works better. You see, but if we just go with the obvious without thought, and in the process thinking we are smart because the obvious is there, but if it's obvious, how smart can we be? You see, because if it's something that the masses understand, mostly, that's why most of the time I don't seek to not go with the masses perspective because I want to be different. It's because I see it doesn't serve the masses. You see, they do the same thing. You see, and then nothing ever changed. You only get worse. So I would be dumber, really, to just take that as a guide or something like that. So we have to see that it's never the obvious, you see, and we question the obvious. We come together and talk about the obvious and find the proper thing to do or something like that. You see what I mean? But of course, we have to listen to each other, understand each other, and validate each other perspective, like Will Smith would say. Shout out to the brother. So that's love indeed. So the thing is like basically we just gotta know, uh, there's always a way forward. Uh, it simply may not be obvious. That's all. You see, but of course, if the masses agree, just because the masses are saying the same thing, it's popular or whatever, does not mean that's the proper thing. You see what I mean? Never in time that what's popular is whatever. You see what I mean? It's not that easy. You see what I mean? So that's why anyone cannot stand against truth. You see, when you stand against truth, you stand against yourself because you are the truth. It shows how stupid and retarded and self-destructive we are when we think we can stand against ourselves or something like that. You see what I mean? So that's what it is. So be truth, be with the truth, and that's why we spoke on we accentuate on authenticity, to be authentic. You see what I'm saying? Because it's what we may learn as we look to learn from each other. What we may learn from each other's weaknesses may be even stronger than what we may learn from each other's strengths. You see what I mean? Something like that. So that's why we urged everyone from the beginning of our lectures and stuff like this to not see things from good or bad, except seeing it for what it serves or something like this. What can you learn from it? Or something like that. What is it telling you? You see, because what is a weakness except that unless you don't know it is a weakness, then it is a a weakness. But once you understand it as a weakness, then it becomes a strength. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Um, we hope we've said everything we needed to say, but we repeat over and over that it is not about seeking, self gratification and pleasing the ego, seeking to be somebody or something like that. And you see, it's just simply, do not worry about credibility. Whatever is yours shall be yours. You see what I mean? So truly, you can waste your time doing that, but like we say, you're wasting your time. You see what I mean? Because whatever will be, it already is even. You see what I'm saying? So what it is that, like we said, the science really, spiritual science behind that is that there's a specific signature to every action. You see, like whoever initiated, just like for those who follow certain metaphysical cartoons and teachings and stuff like this, remember of such when they, I don't know if it's Spirit Science, shout out to Spirit Science or something like this on YouTube, doing great work and stuff. So what it is that I'm not sure if it was Spirit Science or one of those great channels on YouTube that spoke of the ancestors, the ones that are in the future or something like this, or that evolved or something. They find there's a problem in the universe or something like this, and then when they set out to find out and follow the signature of the problem to its source, and they take them to the earth or something. So that's to tell you how, you see, they will find the source. You see what I mean? Because there's a specific signature to it. Nothing is ever lost to a master or to a creator or whatever. Because they're not looking to listen to, just like maybe governments may do today, oh, let's do this and let's give jobs and let's put cameras, let's put this everywhere, but that's not how they do things. You see, it's the signature. It's something, that no one can mess with it, no one can change it. It's a geometry that is specific to its originator or something like that. You see, they follow that and then they will see exactly where it comes from. You see what I mean? It's not for us to worry, but it only shows how much we understand or how little we understand ourselves and stuff like that. You see what I mean? Which is neither wrong or right. Of course, we have to speak from whence we are or something. You see? So the thing is, basically, just do your part, do your best, whatever that may be. You see, and then leave your mark or something which is specific to you, like whatever your heart says, or whatever your spirit is telling you. That's the mark, and that can never be lost. And for those, let's say, of course, like they say, you see, people will do things like riding the goat, for instance. You see, that's natural, that's normal, that's what's gonna happen. So, but for everyone who drank the blood of Christ, like they say in the church, you drink the blood of Christ, there is a DNA in that blood that will come into the consumer and overtake it. I mean, that's why Christ is so big. And Jesus is so big because for whoever drank his blood, become part of him. You see what I mean? So really, if it's your signature, you saw something like this, anyone who consumes it, you really don't need to do anything. You already have the upper hand, you know, in the cosmos or whatever, in the scheme of things. You see, so that's why I call it big, because it's a specific signature. You see, or something like that. They have to consume anyway. That's just the way it works. You see, because we consume each other's uniqueness or something. We're all vampires on each other. That's why when the sister Osset mentioned that, I learned my lesson because as I listen to people or something like this, sometimes I get lost in narratives, and I do believe, okay, thinking separate from vampires or thinking that I have to hate vampires, but she made me realize, of course, we all are vampires to some degree. Because we consume nature's stuff and we consume meat, we consume plants, we consume prana, we are sucking something's energy one way or another. We are all the same. You see what I mean? So how much do we revere and respect what we consume and give back or something like this? That's what makes us different, you see. But to consume, we all do, you see. We consume prana, we consume, for those who don't want to consume meat, consume vegetables. For those who don't want to consume vegetables, they consume fruits. For those who don't want to consume fruits, they consume the air or the energies of the sun or whatever. We consume one way or another. We are all the same, except that it's different degrees of energy. You see, some more potent than others or something. You see what I mean? So we're all vampires in reality. You see, but there's a good vampire and there's a lower vampire or bad vampire, if you want to put it that way. You see, for lack of better word. Meaning the one intention was to take and not giving back, then that's still bad vampire. But the one who's taken because that's how it works. But of course they know to give back and to return the favor and to continue the process or something like this, not stagnating the energy, then they are the good ones, you see. So that's what it is. You feel me? So that's why I thank the sister, for putting that perspective, to mine or something, and allow me to grow from that thinking. You see. So you see, we are still supposed to be learning, and better ourselves day by day. So not to worry, like we say. If ever you did anything for humanity, of course it will never go to waste. Nothing ever goes to waste. You see what I'm saying? So don't worry about it. Continue to be yourself. Continue to evolve. Continue to do the right thing or the balanced thing, like we would say. You see what I mean? And then, of course, one way or another, you will always be happy with the result. It doesn't matter what it looks like on the outside. That's why we have to learn not to look at things from the surface, you see. And I'm sure we can all relate now, you see, to these things. So it's not what it looks like. Because certain things are not meant to be made, how you call it, all fabulous too. Because, certain powers are too great to be held by the ego. And ego looks for the shiny things. You see what I'm saying? So great diamonds and gold, they don't just come shiny. You see, they are hidden in rocks or something like this, if you understand, if you catch my drift. So that's what it is. So be yourselves, as authentic as this may be. And we want to say shout out also to Savon and the great work and how you call it, the meditation, the daily meditations and stuff like this. We share best we can, because the lectures before the meditations, they're just mind blowing, and we thank him for that. You see what I mean? And it's so beautiful and stuff like that. And there's something I wanted to take away from what he said, but kind of missed my mind now. But mostly it's about the relationships. I think it's the one yesterday. It was about relationships, or the one before yesterday. And that was so on point and powerful. And even Tilswan also spoke on relationships. And this is something that is a part of humanity, of being an animal in the kingdom. Relationships are very important, specifically that of the human being, you see. So what it is like we just gotta know what we want and then know how to get exactly what we want. And this is what they mostly talk about. And this is why we wanted to speak on something of the same degree, if anything need be added or something like this. But so far, they said it so well. You see that we should learn from that. Because many people, we realize even the women mostly, they will get mad at the men and stuff like this, blah, blah, blah. You see what I mean? And vice versa, of course. But the thing is, like, if in the first place you did not start right with your relationship, how could you expect it to go as you plan? You see, you have to have the clean intention and then continue with that clean intention. You see, and then that's the only way you can reap the proper result. You see what I'm saying? You have to be authentic with it, because never lie to yourself. You see, never. The thing is like basically it's just you're gonna get something you didn't want. So because and you can't blame anyone. That's why the women, whatever, mostly since they are like focused most of since young. It's like about you see why are they being mistreated? Why are they? Why is that? Why they cannot find what they want or whatever? But we realize like if you want it, you have to be it. You see, that's what it is. That's just the way it is. You see, and that goes for the men as well. And relationship is very important. That's the basis of a nation or community or stuff like that. So of course, it all starts from how we deal with one another. So we don't need to say anymore. Let's say, you know, this is your brother V, uh, and your humble podcast, C'est la vie, or V podcast, or something like that, on our humble channel, um, VTV channel or VTV Studios. So we have this cartoon that we released recently. We hope everybody got to see it because in it is a message. Very good, very on time, so that we may, help one another. And this message came about. Many people ask and don't understand why we don't go crazy like every other channels, speaking about what we think about the virus, what we think about this. If I'm not the originator of the virus, as not to assume too much or to speculate or something like this too much. I speak only on what I know. Try my best to do that. You see, because one thing I hate is when I'm wrong. You see, I hate being wrong. You see, I don't like it. I can't stand it. That's why I try only to speak on what I live and what I know or what I originate or something like that. You see, so I hear and I share. You see, because when I share, it's because I'm seeking the clarity just like everyone. Because it's what is this, what is that, but for some reason, of course, there's gonna be clarity within. You see, like knowing that whatever is to be will be. That's one thing. And if you are on the right track and you are standing on your truth and you are living love and stuff like this, then whatever is cannot be against you. It can only work for you. You see, it doesn't matter if its original intention was to be against, but that's when the Bible verse comes in question, comes in place. No weapons form. You see what I'm saying? Because once you are with truth, you are for everyone, because everyone is the truth at their core. Except that they are not in their center, they don't know themselves, so they think they may fight themselves, or the truth, or something like that. So, of course, they are the enemies of themselves, worse than anything else can be, or myself included. You see what I'm saying? So, what it is just, you see, uh, where was I? Yeah, I forgot the thought. Well, you know. So, yes, we hope you have a wonderful Sunday evening with your families. And, the time, it doesn't matter what it is, there is good if you focus on the positive of things. It gives you time to reflect, time to grow yourself. And for those who are surviving, they will literally tell you that if you come out the same, meaning they're not really worried about the spiritual, but of course that's where they are for the being, not right or wrong. But they will tell you if you do come out of it, a business or whatever this and that, which is something that is needed for survival as well. So that's why it's not wrong or something. You see what I mean? But that's where they are. You see, that's what they offer and stuff. And of course, we have to take and validate. You see what I mean? Because they are right to some degree. You see what I'm saying? So do of it. If you already have the business, then come out the butterfly. If you already are the butterfly, come out with the business. So balance things out. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. But the time is for you, not against you. You see, you only can be against yourself or something like that. You see what I mean? So we hear everything, and we shared something of the sister Sandy yesterday, where she was on the porch sharing with us her perspective, and she was in Italy and saw the stuff that was going on, and she was even helping a community and stuff like this, and she shared her perspective on things She was not speculating because she saw firsthand. So we thank her for sharing and allowing us, because of course you can lose your mind listening to everyone's opinion, specifically when most of the opinions they don't care that it's right or wrong. They just want to be heard, and that's the danger. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like what we the reason we don't want to speculate like everything or everyone or whatever, it's because we whether it is a virus out there or not, but the fact that it is, we can get something out of it, because many people, when they are too happy living and doing certain things, they tend, if they're not in the right mind or something like this, they tend to take everything for jokes and stuff like this. So if something that can bring the fear help them think better and higher thoughts or something like this, like, oh my god, life is so short, and yo, let me stop fucking around, talking my French or whatever, then that virus scares may serve or something to some degree. That's why let it be what it is. If it's scary, let it be. If it is not, then it's not your job. Like if whoever take it for joke, trust me, if they're not supposed to, they will regret that. You see what I mean? But my job is not to validate it, saying that it is will or not will or whatever, except that I see many ways that it may serve humanity and where we're trying to go or something like that. You see? Because many people do need to think about themselves. They do need to ponder, you know what I mean, to take life a little more serious at time, you see. But you know, the irony of life, when you take it too serious, it makes it fun and show you that you shouldn't. When you take it, you play with it, it shows you should. That's why you should always be in the middle, because that's the proper place to be. You see what I'm saying? That's why you see many people will say it as though they know, because they already say they know, so they have to keep on proving that they know something. So you see, that's how it is. It's always gonna be. But sometimes it's not about knowing. You see, knowing is really nothing, to tell you the truth. Who knows? You see, but if it is there, to tell you the truth, for me, whether it is will or not will, I would never say, except that because I understand some people need that, you see, to evolve. They need the scares. They need to feel something. You see what I mean? That's the thing. Because we have to see the full picture when we decide and when we move forward or when we speak or something like that. See? Because half truth is more dangerous than a lie sometimes, or most of the time. So have a beautiful evening. As always, if toxicity comes your way, sprinkle some love on it. It doesn't matter if it's tough love or love is love. You see, just the intention. You see, what are you saying? Just sprinkle some love, whatever that may be. You see what I mean? Just transform it, transmute it. You see, just be the catalyst of love or of change or whatever. You see what I mean? And live, love, laugh, and learn. My boo. Talk to you guys soon, and we're here living, loving, enjoying, and we thank everything and everyone for whatever they've served us, and also we thank the ancestors, you see, for all their guidance and all the love unconditional that they have given us and provided us with all that we ever needed, and also protected us from things we know and things we do not even know, you see. And they're always there and always showing love and understanding and compassion and patience with us. Sometimes we get very dumb and stupid, and then they're there and they still love us and they care and they remain patient, you see. So we thank them for that, and all the great ones around the world, you see, that are guiding us, you see. And I wanted to fix something as well that I've said, because last time I was like, okay, some really when I realized how there was emoji amongst us or something, specifically, but I recognize also Sadhguru and others and stuff like this, but I was with Muji mostly. loving and laughing when he speaks and loving it, you see, every word. So I was like, oh, where was speaking to, the universe or higher self or something when I needed him most? Because I see in his word I could have, you know, there's so much that I wouldn't have been going through or something like this if I know of him. But the thing is, like, I was reminded that the way it works, it's not the master shows when the student is ready. You see what I mean? And when the master shows, it's not coming to teach you; it's coming to confirm what you already found out on your own for yourself, because man knows not by being told. You see what I'm saying? So I asked for forgiveness for saying where was Muji. Muji was always there, except that he was not made aware to me because I was not ready. You see? So I think the Mujis, I think the Sadgurus, all the great ones, they are the names that I remember most of the time. All the grandfather figures amongst us who cares not about anything except our well-being. See, they don't seek for a dollar, they don't seek for this, they don't seek for self gratification, except that they are the energies of the great grandfathers among us. So we thank them. Uh, and that's one thing, you see, my channel is about, which is about guiding and stuff like this. So we made sure to just share whoever we deem it, worthy. So we share with everyone so that we may learn from the best. So we thank the ancestors for them and stuff like this, and may they be kept, you know, in power and love, all the good, you see, and the respect we owe them. So thank you everyone for listening, and have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you soon. Uh, one love.
control.